Breaking news right now in Matthews. CPD on scene at Woodway Oak Circle conducting a homicide investigation.
This apartment complex is blocked off. We've seen neighbors kind of walking around as, as the sun starts to come up this morning, but some of them have been asking us what's going on, or we've asked, and they have said that they don't know what is happening this morning. But we just know that CPD and their detectives have just been canvassing the scene, taking pictures. They confirmed that a woman was found with a gunshot wound here at the scene, and medic pronounced her dead at the scene.
The reason for the crime is still unknown, but the pain it caused, crystal clear.
They're very angry, of course. I mean, who wouldn't be angry if something happened to their friend, you know?
Imagine receiving a text message with no idea it would foreshadow a terrifying series of events. Friends and family of a Charlotte mother were left stunned and heartbroken after an unexpected tragedy unfolded at an apartment complex. Janiah Wright, affectionately known as Sky to her family and friends, was a vibrant 23-year-old whose infectious smile could light up any room. She had a kind and beautiful soul that drew people towards her, making her a beloved presence in her community. Janiah studied at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and ultimately began a career in healthcare as a registered nurse. Most importantly, she was a devoted mother to 2 young sons, whom she cherished deeply. Her children were the center of her world, and she took great pride in watching them thrive. On the surface, Janiah appeared to have it all. She enjoyed her career, her sons were happy, and life seemed to be on a positive path. Yet, beneath the outward success, she yearned for love, believing it was the missing piece in her life. Tragically, this very search for love would lead her down a path that took her away from her children and everything she worked so hard to build. Just before 2 a.m. on September 6th, Charlotte Mecklenburg police responded to the Mission Matthews Place apartments in the 8100 block of Woodway Oak Circle off East Independence Boulevard after a man called 911 saying his girlfriend had been shot. Upon arrival to the scene, they would locate an unresponsive adult female lying in the parking lot.
So this happened on Woodway Oak Circle. You're looking at video our crews got from the scene. Right now, there are still a lot of unknowns.
CPD is still investigating an overnight shooting here in Southeast Charlotte. They say someone shot and killed a 23-year-old woman in an apartment complex parking lot. Just before 2 a.m., police were called to Mission Matthews Place on the 8100 block of Woodway Oak Circle. CPD says a woman was found in the parking lot with a gunshot wound, and medic confirms she died at the scene. Neighbors we spoke with off camera in the area say it's normally a quiet apartment community, and they were surprised to hear a shooting happened. At this time, police are still looking for the shooter. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers.
The victim was identified as 23-year-old Janiah Wright, who was sadly pronounced dead at the scene after succumbing to a gunshot wound to the neck. According to court documents, when officers arrived at the scene, they discovered Janiah's boyfriend, 25-year-old Charles Hodge Jr., kneeling over Janiah's lifeless body, frantically trying to stop the bleeding by pressing a shirt against her injury. The officers immediately noticed something unusual. Hodge wasn't wearing any shoes, and his socks were completely drenched in blood. Despite the chaotic scene, Hodge willingly went with the detectives to provide a statement. During the interview, he explained that he and Janiah had been dating for 2 months. That night, Janiah had gone out with friends to a bar and later called him asking for a ride home. Hodge claimed that after picking her up, they sat in his car outside her apartment, casually chatting. It was during this moment he said that a man dressed entirely in black and wearing a black mask approached the vehicle. According to Hodge, when he opened the car door to see what the man wanted, the stranger asked for a lighter, but suddenly pulled out a gun and aimed it at him. Hodge then told detectives that he and the man wrestled for the weapon, during which the assailant fired 2 shots into the car before fleeing the scene. He claimed that after the shots were fired, he immediately called 911. He then told detectives that while waiting for help, he walked around looking for someone to assist him. However, he then insisted that he never entered the grassy area between buildings 8118 and 8114. Yet, investigators later uncovered bloody footprints leading away from Janiah's body in the vehicle. These footprints led them into the very grassy area Hodge claimed he hadn't been in. There, a K-9 unit would discover a Glock 40 caliber pistol loaded with 1 round. Additionally, the nature of Janiah's wounds raised suspicions. She had been shot on both sides of her neck, with one wound indicating the shot was fired at close range, directly contradicting Hodges' versions of events. Janiah's murder marks the 83rd homicide in Charlotte this year, up from 60 at the same time last year. In a very disturbing text to one of her friends, Janiah said the following: "Really, it's men out here who really get aggressive with you because they were rejected. Men have killed women over not giving out their numbers or turning down their catcalls, stuff like that. Shoot, I had this dude knock my drink over because I told him I had a man, and he called me a stupid bee and everything. They put him out because of that. Yeah, dudes are real goofy these days."
Well, the suspect apparently told police that he and the victim were just simply sitting in his car when an unknown man came up, knocked on the driver's side window, and wanted to use a lighter. It was then, for some reason, he pulled out a gun and opened fire. But police say they weren't buying that story.
Absolutely did not deserve what happened to her at all.
Neighbors, friends, and family are all trying to come to terms with how a mother of two was shot and killed at just 23 years old.
I was shocked, honestly just shocked.
A friend of Janiah Wright, who knew the family for years, got the news early this morning.
She was a great person, very caring, great mother, definitely a great friend.
Wright's family stood watch over the crime scene for hours from an apartment balcony, too shaken up to talk about what happened.
Very hurt by what happened, and just sad.
According to an affidavit, Janiah Sky Wright had gone out to a local bar with friends earlier in the evening. At some point, she met up with Charles Hodge Jr. The two had been dating for just a few weeks. Police received a call for help at the Matthews Place apartments early Friday morning. There, they found Wright suffering from 2 gunshot wounds to her neck. The suspect, according to reports, was kneeling next to her, applying pressure to her wounds. Hodge claimed an unknown gunman was to blame. He alleged the man shot into the car after asking for a lighter, but a police investigation found her wounds were consistent with being shot at close range. Investigators also say they located a .40 caliber gun close to the scene and other evidence in the car. Based on that, Hodge was arrested and charged with murder. Officers quickly reassuring the neighborhood this was an isolated incident.
Nothing to say that there's any threat at this time.
Hours after her murder, 25-year-old Charles Hodge Jr. was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Janiah's story highlights the importance of being cautious when entering relationships, especially when things feel uncertain. While love is important, it's crucial to be aware of potential risk or warning signs that could jeopardize one's safety. Charlotte-Mecklenburg police says they are still in the preliminary stages of the investigation. The case remains ongoing.